Hi, I'm Pierre Fréget, and today I would like to talk about my program. So how does my program work? My program is composed of two files. The first one is the data files, where the data about the student are saved. And the second one is program files, which is where the program is saved. So now how does these two elements communicate with one another? This is possible because of two functions. The first one is write marks and the second one is read marks. Read marks allow me to read what is on the data files and put it on the screen, and write marks allow me to update the data files. Now I would like to explain my main function. The goal of my main function is to accomplish every task of the assignment and to be as user-friendly as possible. To do so, I have first of all created an index to lead the user throughout my program, and after that I took some countermeasure to avoid that the user create a problem with my program. So what I did is that I created a function which is called digit p and number p, which work together. This function will only consider numbers between 0 and 9 valid, and then will transform them as integer to allow the program to run the different possibility it has. Now I want to talk about the function which make my program functional. The first one is showData. showData allows me to show on the screen what is written on the data files and organize it because of the formatting I did in my program. Now I would like to talk about the function which allow me to update the information about the student or add a student. This function is called getInformation, and it is working with the function writeMarks because this function allows me to change what is on the data files. So to do so, I've created an input system which allow me to know if a name and a last name are already on my data files, and if so, indicate to the user that the student already exists, but still update the grades. And on the other end, if the student does not exist, add him to the list. The function remove a student works the same in practice as getInformation. You put a name, you put a last name, the program will see if it's already returned. If it is returned, it will just delete it. If the student does not exist, it will just tell you that the student does not exist. The function average marks shows what is the average for one assessment. So what does it do is that it adds all the mark for one assessment, so all the mark of each student for one assessment, and divided it by the length of the data. As simple as that. And it does it 3 times for each assessment. Now for the fifth function, I did import a module which is called Turtle, and which will allow me to draw the bar of the total average of a student mark. So I use two functions for this one. The first one is draw bar, which give information on how the bar will be drawn. And the second, show mark shot, which will give the program information on how to open a different screen, where the draw bar has to start on the screen, and some information on what are the data the program is supposed to use, and in which color and he is able to draw them. For the sixth function, which is show which student is below average on a certain assessment, I use two arguments. The first one is the argument data, so that again we are able to read what is on the data files, and then the argument n, which represent the index of the assignment. And every time, for example, a student is under 10 on an assignment, the program will just show the user that this student is under the average for this assignment. Very simple. Now the goal of my last function is to calculate if a student is below the average mark of the class at the end of the semester. So what do? First of all, I do calculate with a function the average mark of the student. So what do is I take in account the coefficient and I multiply the mark by the coefficient each time. Then, once this is done, I use another function to calculate the average mark of the class. And once this is also done, I do a comparison, I do a loop for each and every student to know which one is below the average of the class. If a student is not below the average, it will not show up on the screen, and if he is, it will show up. I hope this video was informative, and I hope it helps you to understand what I tried to do with this program.